That brings us to item number 11, which is our superintendent's report. Dr. Hefner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board, and thank you, Ms. Miller, for that wonderful report. And I would tell you how proud I am of our district, Chapin Middle, and all of the students across our system who demonstrate so many wonderful character traits and make us proud every single day. I think since we last met, one of the most significant things that occurred was the production of Annie at Irmo High, the Irmo Center for the Arts, which was joined in by students from all across our district. A really first-class production made possible in part because of the contributions of our District 5 Foundation and our District Page 5 Parents Active and Gifted Education. It's one of my favorite events of the year because it brings together students from all across our district to be involved in a production. And every year they simply impress me beyond words in terms of their talent and their commitment and their dedication. Now this evening, rather than going through the whole litany of things we could brag about, under my report, I wanted to follow up. We had said maybe at the beginning of the year that from time to time we'd like to have a focus on one area of our organization or the other. Tonight I've asked Katrina Goggins, who has rejoined us after having been gone for a year. She came back at the beginning of April, and she's been with us now a little over a month, for her to share with us some of the initiatives and some of the area of focus that we have, areas of focus that we have within our Office of Communications. Ms. Goggins.
Thank you, Dr. Hefner. Now more than ever, communicators face challenges in telling the stories of their businesses, organizations, and schools. Changes in the newsroom, shifts in the way people want to receive their information, and the growth of social media. The purpose of this report tonight is to show you some trends in the media and also the district's strategic approach to these challenges in communication. And it's critically important that we continue to tell our story at this time. So a good communications report starts with an understanding of the news media. This report that we're about to show in the next few slides are taken from the SC Press Association, other groups, to show you some trends in media. It's the same report that has been delivered and prepared for big businesses and corporations by a leading advertising agency. So the first thing we wanted to show you is a decline in newspaper circulation. Around 2003, when I was a reporter for the state newspaper, 2009, when I was a journalist for the AP, newspapers were still one of the leading ways people wanted to receive their information. Well, we see from this chart that things are starting to change. 2014, we see a steep decline. In fact, newspaper print revenue, adjusted for inflation, is the lowest it's been since 1950. That trend is expected to continue. So here's a breakdown by demographics. We know that older populations still read the newspaper and account for the larger share of their circulation, 75 and above. But even there, it's starting to decline steadily in both the weekly and Sunday editions. So here is the graph that's most telling for us, I think, as communicators in the district. It's where people like to receive their information, sources of news 2012 through 15. And you see that line that's yellow there, print media, is starting to go down. And then we have TV and online that makes up the most of where people like to get their news. But what's most interesting is that dotted line you see as well. That's social media. So we know that that is experiencing an increase. By 2020, it's expected to intersect and maybe even surpass online and TV. So we have been putting a lot of our focus on social media, looking at that trend. And we've really started this month to look at some analytics for ways that we can further reach our audiences there. So the district's Facebook page was created in 2009. Right now we have a little over 3,100 followers, 3,190 likes as of yesterday. Here's a look at April, and you might notice that spike right around the 4th and 5th of April. And that, of course, is our early release. People like that. And then we saw spikes throughout the month there around the 19th, the 23rd, the 27th, and those were all posts about our students and our Teacher of the Year and Support Employee of the Year. We received 86 new likes for the month of April. Here's our #1 Facebook post by engagement, and that is the news that Chapin High School had its first West Point appointment. And when we talk about engagement rate, it's different from likes. Some businesses like to tout the number of likes that a post gets, but you really want to look at that engagement rate because that's telling. So Facebook generates engagement rate by the number of clicks, likes that you receive, comments, anything that people would do to the page, divided by the reach. How many people actually saw the page, and that's how you get your engagement rate. So rather than look at likes, you want to look at the engagement rate. Here's our #2 Facebook post by engagement, and that's our early release. But what's telling about this is that it reached 7,735 people, which is important. This is a great way for us to get out information. It received 64 likes, but again, engagement rate is not only the amount of likes, but the number of people it reached, factored into that. The third highest engagement rate post was this one about Spring Hill High School students' Shark Tank competition. And here we tried to tag some of the sponsors of that event. When you tag someone, that means you just put a link to their Facebook page. They're able to receive a notice that you've included them on a post, and it also opens up the people that follow them and the people that are on their page to look at our page as well. So this was the third highest engagement rated posts for April. Let's talk about Twitter. So the district joined Twitter in 2009 before we did Facebook. Currently we have about 3,700 a little bit more followers, and we have 276 likes. We are also posting more photos and videos because we know people respond well to that. So you see that Twitter earned 65,000 impressions over that in the last 30 days. So there's impression and there's reach. When you talk about impression, I like to use the analogy of a billboard on a highway. Counting the number of cars that go by would be your impression. Maybe they saw it, maybe they didn't. Reach is the number of people who actually saw it. So while a lot of people potentially saw a lot of our Twitter posts, the reach is what you really want to look at. So the most popular retweeted post in April was our early release. See, it was retweeted 122 times by a lot of media outlets as well. We averaged 4 retweets per day for the month. And then the most popular liked tweet in April was regarding the STEM Premier Top 100 ranking of students and U.S. Presidential Scholar semi-finalists. Here's our top tweet. It was the early release. And then the top mention is this one by a ABC Columbia reporter who tagged us, and that's where you see that @LexRich5, that's a tag, and tagged at Fort Middle regarding that visit from the Fireflies that the school had. And here's our top media tweet. So Twitter defines media not as media outlets, but pictures, video, anything somebody can do to the tweet. Let's look at YouTube. Very interesting. We joined YouTube July 2013. We have about 407 subscribers, and we have thousands and thousands of views. And here are some graphs that show the average duration that people look at these videos, about 4 minutes, so they're watching it through to the end. But what's most telling is this next one. You see the top YouTube video was River Springs Elementary's 5th grade musical summer camp. That's interesting because this was posted about 2014. So it's an old video, but people still are looking at these videos. We know that we want to focus some of our attention there because video is key, and you see a lot of media outlets really focusing in on video. So let's talk about the district's PR. On average each year, we have around 180 press releases. We started that in 2013, I think my first year. We had about 181, the next year 191. And we know that those result in a lot of stories for us, about 80 broadcast stories, and then we also have about 20 print daily, that'd be the state newspaper, Columbia Daily, and we have hundreds and hundreds from our weekly newspapers each week and each year. So District 5 had about 15 media releases for the month of April. 3 of these releases included coverage by all 4 local television stations. So Chopped received all 4 stations. We had coverage of the Fireflies partnership with Dutch Fork Middle for all 4 stations, although this gentleman here to the right may have something to do with that. That's Tim Tebow. And then Lee Park Elementary's Earth Day also had all 4 stations come out. We tried it because it was on a Friday, and we know that a lot of media outlets are looking for good human interest type stories on Fridays. So it worked well for us here. So the key takeaways from this report we want you to come away with are these. The only constant in communication is change. Newsrooms, social media, the way people want to get their information are all changing, but the district will utilize all analytics and monitor everything we can to address these changes as they come. Also, District 5 has a great advantage. Students change, but the positive news of this district remains. They continue to achieve, our teachers continue to be dedicated, and that really is the strength of District 5 communication. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Hefner.